Well, follow my podcast, Wisdom Synergy, and you can go to wisdomsynergy.org and you can, join a community of collective knowledge, of your own experiences and, your own insight. You guys can always, let's learn together, because, if I can get people around the world and stuff too to join my, if they want to just talk about some things or whatever that's going on, that's what I'm trying to get to. I have a vision. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to people from around the world on this podcast, via Zoom or whatever. However, we phone call, on video, and just to really get a good idea of our true past. You know what I mean? Because when you share your things on a personal level is how we learn best. And if I can create this community where everybody is, a brilliant mind and questioning everything and just looking at things a little more logically and simpler, don't complicate things, because if you look at something and you see it and whatever you think is if something's a little bit off about it, you're probably right. You know what I mean? All you gotta do really is pay attention to the way your brain is acting, because your brain is not always right. You know what I mean? Your brain is awesome. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's like a big filing cabinet, and it just refers to. So when we have repetitive things done to us, or just the control that we don't even know is happening, but that's what's affecting us. It could be in our food. There's a lot of ways, and you see how they act in politics and stuff. I don't trust people that act like that. You know what I'm saying? They're fake. They're fucking. They have an agenda. Whether they know they're part of the agenda or not. You know what I'm saying? It goes that deep. Use this for an example. If they want to keep some people away from an area, you know what I mean? For a little while, so they can do what they want to do. They make a phone call and they say, hey, we need a couple road flaggers down here and detour some traffic and shit. And the thing is here is so they get there and they're working. You know what I mean? But they don't even have no idea what they're detouring for. And nobody's asking nothing. I mean, they can do it right in front of your face. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a slap. It's a slap to the face, because we are so worried about the tomorrow that you were worried about yesterday. It's it's a toxic, we're in a toxic way of looking at things. You know what I mean? So I'm starting this podcast and I feel like I'm not good enough and or whatever, but then I gotta stop myself and tell myself, because because I was supposed to collaborate and try to reach out for people, and I know I'm different, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Everybody's different, and we do, but it's the point of they won't take me seriously usually. This is in my past. So trying to start this podcast and be new, you know what I mean? But it already, just everything about me comes out. I wear my heart on my sleeve, okay? It's the best, easy way to put it, long story short kind of thing. So I'm nervous, you know what I mean? So I reached out to people and stuff, but this is my thing. It's my brain always goes back to thinking okay, well, they want the link to your podcast channel and stuff, and so it's just my brain programming how we are to think, is to think you're nervous and you're not good enough, probably crosses your mind, or just things, them toxic things, and I you know what I'm saying. So it's it's when you're saying you can't do something too. It's part of that effect of in your brain. It's okay, maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm questioning things, and no, I'm thinking and I know it's not true, but I'm thinking no expert's gonna want to come on here and talk to me, you know what I mean? But you don't know, like, I just hope people take me a little more serious, because like I'm trying to build a community and get like this, let's call it a groove, you know what I mean? Let's call it a groove of learning or something, because like when you have people learning on a personal level and sharing experiences and insights and things like that is how you get somewhere. Okay, you take that knowledge just like AI does. You get the, you do the algorithms or whatever the fuck you want to call it, analyze the numbers, and just like when you're born, you're given that social security number, man, from birth. Okay, you are programmed from birth. As soon as you're born, they give you that number. It's part of an algorithm, I'm sure. It's got to be something. You know what I mean? They know you before you know who you are. Like, it's been around for thousands of years. AI's been out here for long. Just, it's been hidden. A lot of any kind of technology or ancient technology, it's like, they've been, and it's all in a timeline of I ain't talking like really even thousands of years ago, really. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about even like 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Shit gets really fucking sus. But anyway, back to what I was saying about, so your brain, it's tricky, man. It's really fucking tricky, because you almost gotta, how do I explain this? And I'm not an expert or anything like that, you know what I mean? I am speaking from personal experience and like my own life and like, things I observed, okay? And I feel like it's proof to me, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to prove that this magic that we have is real. So, if you're interested, wisdomsynergy.org, you can support the channel. We can dive deeper, you can join the community and rock out. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, you can, and it can be fun. We don't have to be super uptight, you know what I mean? Or whatever. If you are uptight, it's fine. I'm not, that's not the point. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or whatever, because anybody that's going to be into this stuff anyway is going to be open-minded, and that's what the main goal here is too, is to get people open-minded and get them asking questions, and stop stereotyping and judging everybody and thinking I'm not good enough, because like, I know I feel the same way, like I started this podcast on intuition, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm doing, but you know what? I've been hard at it now for like 2 months, like day and night, non-stop, and like, I'm learning a lot and stuff, and I'm working hard, and I'm reaching out to people, which I was nervous about, but I found this one guy who's really, really cool, and he does healing with like sound, and he plays guitar, which is gnarly. I love that, and he's like super cool dude. I forget his name right now at the moment. I'm sorry about that, but I hope to have him as a guest here on the show sometime soon, because like what he can add to what I'm trying to say here, would be really, really cool, because he's a real mellow guy, and like as far as I know, I gotta look into him a little bit farther. I'm sorry, but he's really, really. I think he went to schools and stuff and got like some degrees and all these, which to me is great for him, but to me is like really don't mean much. I'm more interested in who he is and what he does. You know what I mean? Like from a personal experience, like that's what I'm trying to do. Is reach people on a personal. Share your insight, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm just trying to question things and say, what are your thoughts on this? And like, because I think logically, and like the things I ask about or interested in aren't really that far out, you know what I'm saying? To like, it's just stuff that's right in front of our face, okay? And I'm gonna mention this, okay? There's this book, and it was called The Crowd. And it was out in like 40s or 50s or something like that, and it got banned and stuff like that, or outlawed or whatever you want to call that, around the world, some places, because they believed it was releasing too much information about how they control the mass, the population and stuff. You know what I mean? So this book, you can find it, and it's disturbing. You know what I mean, in a way, because I didn't think it would be that easy to control us. I thought we were stronger than that. You know what I mean? I thought we were really. I thought humanly, naturally, capability-wise, I'm not impressed with anything I see. And no, it's not no offense. Maybe it's coming out wrong. I don't want it to come out wrong, but I'm saying, okay, what I'm trying to say, whatever I'm saying here is I feel like we need to rethink a lot of things and reanalyze what we are taught, okay? Because I feel like humans are much more capable of so much more if we weren't thrown into like a rat race type thing and here's the education, this is what we're going to teach, and that's it. Questions that are too bizarre or whatever, we don't have time, it's too much, and all this rush, it's like, what are we rushing for anyway? Why are we rushing for anything? Why is time always clicking in my background like this? Why is time a thing? Because time stresses you out, man. There ain't enough time in the day, I'll tell you that much. It's just another one of them things to where it's like, okay, another example of precision. I'm learning this too. It's like, oh, so it's like, there's another example of precision for you, If you guys, man, think anything I'm talking about is cool or, interesting, if you have some of your own personal experiences and can relate to this stuff, because I don't really know what it is that, okay, I'm special, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is or what I, possess or have or abilities. I feel like I'm capable of so much more, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we are, the keys that we are given, that everybody should have worldwide, every single person. Doesn't matter. So we get these keys that how when you go through life and you reach certain levels of things and because I just had a spiritual awakening not long ago and it changed my fucking life, man, quick. I was really, really depressed at the time, and really down, man, not getting out of bed, just it was getting really bad, and I was getting scared, I'm not gonna lie, it's scary shit. It fucks you up, bro. It paralyzes you. Anyway, so I had this I've always been into theories and stuff, and I'm always very curious and ask a lot of questions about just about anything. If I look at something and I see something, I'm like, well, just think about how is that even possible? Or wow, what? I don't know. Whatever you call that too. I like to analyze things, and I'm curious, I guess, too. So anyway, what I'm saying is, you start to notice things, and then when you see it repeated enough times, whether in your life or whatever it is you're looking into or research, say if you're doing research or something, you start seeing repeated outcomes, you are gonna start to notice some things, just like AI does with the algorithms, it does when you're born, you know what I mean? It keeps tabs on everything. Just like legalizing the gambling and shit, they knew, they ran these numbers until they were blue in the face, knowing that they were gonna fucking bank unbelievable amounts of, and then the mental state that it puts everybody in when they're gambling is not healthy, bro. I get shit's fun and all, and I have, I'm not gonna lie here, I'm gonna be really honest, you know what I mean? I've gotten my paycheck rate, and I'm what the fuck, yo? It didn't take me long to realize what the fuck was going on there. You know what I mean? And addiction's tough, man. I know all about it. And it's another thing that it's like, you know, this is the thing I'm trying to point out too, is like they are very, you know, here's cancer and then we'll sell you the cure too and all this other stuff. It's like a lot of red flags should be going up, I think. You know, they are for me personally, and it's only my opinion. All this stuff, you know, I'm not saying I know facts or anything like that. I'm just trying to share my personal experience, and I'm curious if anybody else out there is feeling these ways, you know, or feels anything that I'm talking about is like tickling your fancy or whatever, you know, or catches you, you know. Feel free, or more than free, man, to just like share it with Wisdom Synergy, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's and this is the thing too, and I can relate to it. It's embarrassing, you know what I mean? Like me talking to this camera and stuff. Like it's just, I'm not used to this stuff at all. I just feel like I should be doing this. You know what I mean? So, you know, my brain's naturally programmed to think I'm nuts, you know, I'm crazy or whatever. And like, you know, people are gonna doubt me, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, this is the thing about brain programming. You need to actually, like, every day you need to, no matter what it is you're going into, like, you have to have a mindset. And it's not the point of whether you're gonna be good at it or not gonna be good at it. It's the point of the mindset of going into it like this. It's like, you know, whatever they're doing, say they're playing basketball or something, okay? And you feel like, man, I can't even dribble a ball, or, you know, whatever. I know what you're saying, you know what I mean? And that's your brain thinking, like, it's kind of stopping you, and you're thinking, I can't do that shit, you know what I mean? And it's a shame, because, like, this is the thing. If you go into that with a mindset of, yo, give me that ball, yo. You know what I mean? Like, let's play some ball. What's up, yo? Let's bring, yo, take him to the hole, shit. Whatever the fuck, you know. It's the mindset, okay? It's not like whether or not you're the best basketball player or not at the moment. It's not, that has nothing to do with it. It's the mindset of going in there open-minded, okay? Like, and like, you don't have to, like, you know, this is when I say when you believe in yourself, it has magic, because it's like, okay, you're going in there with the mindset of, yo, give me that ball, you know what I mean? We're gonna play some ball, bro, we're getting it in, you know? Awesome. And like, I know like basketball's not my, probably, you know, I'll probably throw a brick or two. I'll be the laughing stock of this fucking game probably. But the thing is not the point. The point is that mindset, because when you do go into things like that, you don't know that one thing that, you know, you might fucking be good at, or whatever it is, you might miss it because we're not paying attention, you know what I mean? Or we're like, oh, I can't do that. You don't know. You don't know until you try something. You know what I'm saying? You don't know anything until you ask about it. If you're curious about something, ask about it. If it's something that like is inside of you and in your head, that, you know, no matter what, it just keeps coming back to your thoughts and stuff, it's a sign, man. You need to pay attention to that stuff, man, because like it keeps coming back. You know what I mean? It's like the universe is like saying no. So every so often it's smacking you in the face with like these red flags, and we're just like too blind to even see the damn things, which is sad. But you know, when you start to wake up a little bit and you start seeing, and then, you know, when you believe in yourself, okay, and like this is on this mindset thing, like when you go into something, like you believe in yourself, it's a magic, it's magic to me, man. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm going to use guitar as an example because I play guitar. So when you're learning guitar, it's a foreign object in your hands, okay? When you first pick up a guitar, it's insane. And I remember a long time ago, like I seen Eddie Van Halen on the freaking MTV, man, with his pink pants on.
Been through a heavy time.
Right, so I seen Eddie Van Halen with these pink pants on and shit, and I'm like, comes out, puts a cigarette up in the headstock, sits down on the stage and starts, you know, this whole thing. And like, I was a little kid, just sitting Indian style on the floor watching MTV, you know, but like blown away by this guy. Is like, ever since then, man, like I was like, guitars, man, it was like, so we had like book reports in school and shit, it was on guitars and stuff, you know what I mean? Like that was what was on my brain a lot. I'm a little disappointed in myself because like I didn't know what I knew now. So I wasn't committed enough when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like I was definitely into it, and I paid attention to all the good guitar players. I knew all of them, you know what I mean? I could tell you what they played and what, the band they were in, their names, everything else. I was like, and if it was music involved, this is another thing, I could remember shit. If it was music related or something like that, dude, I'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? I'd be, bam, dropping names, anything you want. What year it was, fucking album it was, what the fuck. It was like, it stuck, you know what I mean? That was personal to me. So when the music was related into it, it was personal and it stuck. I learned stuff. I wasn't stupid no more. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, it's just a shame it had to fucking take so goddamn long because I'm 43, man. I'm only starting to wake up here around, 35? I mean, I've always been kind of waking up. It's just like, when you're super tired and you're trying to wake up and you know what I'm saying? It's like that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it takes a fucking minute, man. But once you start waking up, get moving and thinking and open your brain up, bro, yes, you're gonna know what I'm saying. So the power of believing in yourself in something is like this. I started playing guitar and you start to hear your progress. You know what I mean? You're practicing, to me, it wasn't practicing. I liked it. And I never took any lessons. I don't know music theory or nothing like that, okay? For me, that would have probably fucked my shit up and I would have been like, oh, this ain't for me. And it's fucked up I say that because I'm saying don't, go in, but I was open-minded, so I didn't believe that I couldn't. It wasn't that. It was just, I was more into playing it, you know what I mean? And not trying to dive too deep because I noticed with myself and my opinion, when I do that, I start getting, funny, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta keep things simple, I operate much smoother and, I operate better, just simple. I mean, like, people say I'm complicated and they're probably right. What do I know? You know what I'm saying? But listen, so when you believe when you're playing guitar and you hear yourself and you hear your progress and you're putting in that hard work, because you can't just expect you to just pick and you're going to learn overnight. It's like you got to be ready to put in the work. You know what I mean? So you hear your progress, you're putting in the work. You're like, oh, this is cool. You're like, look what I can do, kind of thing. Because all guitar players want to show off. If you don't, you're lying. You know what I mean? Any guitar player. Anyway, I love everybody. Listen. So when you hear a little bit of progress and stuff, and say you are taking lessons, or you have a brother like I do, and they hear you playing and they're like, wow, man, you're getting pretty good, Or you go to music practice or lessons and the teacher's like, dang, bro, I can tell you've been practicing. My son just came to me and I can tell he's been practicing. Casey is awesome. That boy is 8 years old, dude, and sat down at a drum set and picked it up with nothing. I was like, what? Wait, where? Who? Casey, what the hell? I said, give that boy some drumsticks, man. And he's like, well, I want to fuck with the guitar too. Well, he's not cussing, but he's saying, I want to play guitar too, Dad. I'm like, yeah, little man. Okay, because I got guitars. I was like, you can, take a pick, man. He picked a nice Jackson with a Floyd Rose on it and shit. He picked a nice guitar, I was like, here, man, it's yours, because I encourage that, you know what I mean? And he comes to me, well, this is funny. He comes to me, he's like, I like Slipknot. I'm like, wait, because I wasn't pushing nothing kind of on him, you know what I mean? I was like, anyway, I'm getting a little personal, but anyway, when you believe in yourself and you see your progress, you're putting in that work, you know what I'm saying? And Casey too, my son's gonna start to notice this, and I'm happy for him because this is magic, okay? You hear your progress, your brothers and hear you, your families, they hear you, and they're like, wow, man, you're getting pretty good. This is cool, it's awesome. And then they encourage you to maybe break out and try to get a band or play out, some clubs or bars or whatever, get yourself into the mix and into the scene. And say, okay, so you're playing still and you're practicing, and this is it's time consuming learning to play. So it's not overnight, but anyway, you're like, okay, and you feel like you're ready and you feel pretty good because you're playing good. People are giving you good feedback. It feels good. It's nice to hear good things about yourself. That's magic too. That's another episode. But anyway, believing in yourself is like this. So say you work up enough nerve and you do reach out to some people and you go and you play it at the bar or open mic night or whatever it might be, and people are like, they hear you now, okay? So this is like building a little bit of a power behind you too with this believing shit. So you're playing out and then you got people out there like hear you like, oh, man, these guys are cool, man. They're rocking out, man. You know what I'm saying? They're coming up to you and saying, wow, you guys are good, man. I really dug what you were doing. You know, smoking dope, it was cool. Cool. You know, everybody's like, yeah, right on. It's that energy, but they're building to your power because now they believe in you too. You understand what I'm saying? They're digging what you're doing. You know, you put in the time and the work and it'll build your power. Because you believe in yourself and you got this far, now they believe in you. Okay? You start playing in front of more people, you know? It builds your power, your magic, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, if you really, you know, and if it's what you really want to do, you know, tour around, whatever your goal is with the guitar, or whatever it is, you know, I don't know how to tell you how to go about that because, like, I've always just gone with the flow and my life has been bumpy. It's not smooth. You know what I'm saying? Boy. Not smooth. It's been a rough ride, man. But listen, I want to prove how this is real because think about this too. Think about football. You guys like football? I played football in school, you know? And I liked it. When I was a kid, I loved sports. You know what I mean? I was a sporty go-getter. I was a real kid, man. I was all about it. You know what I mean? So I signed up for football like as soon as I could when I was old enough, and you know, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was a little boy. I had no clue. I didn't know how to get the pads on, bro. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Mouthpiece and helmet and all this stuff. I was like, whoa, man, look at me. You know, I was like, damn, this is cool, kind of different, you know, exciting. Because, you know, as a kid being at home and shit or wherever you're at, it's like stale, you know what I mean? It's like you just want to do stuff as a kid, and like, so I signed up for football and I took to it. I didn't know what I was doing, so this is like the first or second practice, you know what I mean? Like where I'm there with all these kids I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm wondering if I want to get hurt, you know what I mean? I'm like fucking scared like a little bitch, you know. And then like, you know, I don't know if I got the uniforms on right and shit. Like, we had to go and get shoes and, you know, all this stuff is involved. You know what I mean? So we got that far. It's like, you know, ooh, yeah, now you geared up and you're starting to believe in yourself. Like, this is real. You know what I mean? Like, look at me. I'm in, you know, all this football stuff, and I'm ready to play, but I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. I'm just ready. I'm ready to go. So my first or second practice, you know what I mean? Like, they're doing drills and shit, and like, you know, seeing what strong points kids got or what this and that. You know, I'm trying to run laps and shit. I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy, yo. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't know if I was cut out for it. I was starting to doubt myself from the gate. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, whew, it's a lot. You know? I was like, damn, this is a lot. It was a workout, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's good for you. You know what I mean? But this is what my point is, like, I had that mindset of kind of like, I don't know already. At my second practice, I was like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this shit. So, it was the second practice. We worked out, stretched, and ran them laps I'm talking about. And I'm like, I don't know. You know, I'm like literally in the middle of, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So, they're showing us some drills and stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're all gathered together and shit in our little uniforms and shit, ready to play football. And Brian, get up front here. We want to see what you can do here, Brian. Get up front. Let's see. So, you know, here I am in my pads and shit in front of all the, you know, these other kids that I don't fucking know really, like, and like, I don't know. And like, I was like, okay, you know, so I'm a friendly, not very shy kind of person, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, what's up? You know, let's do this. And they're like, all right, we want you to get down, you know what I mean? Like, take your stance and all that shit, like, and get ready, and you're gonna, like, you know, block, you know what I mean? You're gonna hit, and you're gonna push, and you're digging in, you know what I mean? They were like, you're like a wild dog. We want to see you when they snap that ball. So, you know, they're like, we want you to dig in and do your best. So I did, you know? And when I did it, you know, I'm, you know what I mean? Like really, I did exactly what they told me to do, and I did it well. And when I was done, I, you know, got up and looked around, and he was like, "That's how you do it. You see how Brian did it? That's how you do it. We want to see everybody doing it just like that." And I'm like getting up thinking, what the hell? Is everything all right? You know what I mean? What happened? Like, and he's pumping everybody up and saying, "That's how we want to see everybody doing it." And I was like, so I did good. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's banging on my helmet and shit. "That's how you do it." You know, and I'm like, okay, you know, all right, cool. So then it changed something there. You know what I mean? He's yelling, freaking out, telling everybody to be like me. Okay? Me. Telling everybody to be like me. I'm a little kid. I'm the kind of kid that was like, oh, you can be whatever you want when you grow up. I was calling bullshit. I was like, sounds like a fucking lie. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, you can't be anything you want. You are who you are. You're just gonna be a douchebag. You know, whatever the fuck. Well, that's not the case, man, because I didn't realize it then, but he was giving me some keys right there. He blew my head up. So, you know what? Third practice came around, and like, guess who was good at football all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything about football, you know what I'm saying? But when they did that and pumped my head up, it changed something there. I didn't realize it at the time when I was a kid, but I do now. Now I know, because I'm not bragging or nothing, but I was good at football. I played center for, I don't know, all the way through like elementary school and like into junior high and stuff. I didn't play high school and stuff, but anyway, I played for 5 or 6 years, I guess, and I played center every year. You know, and they called me like the pancaker and shit already, and like those, you know, just names like, cause I don't know, I could like some people out. You know what I mean? Like I was like, yeah, fuck. I snapped that ball, and I, you know, just like he showed me on that second practice. That was the only thing I knew how to do, because I think I did good because they were pumping me up. You know what I mean? So I kept doing that. And I was good at football, man. Like, we had banquets and stuff, and like, you know, you would get like awarded things or whatever. Like, they always made it a point, like, here's our center, you know what I mean? There's our guy, you know? And like, that also, so then like other people and parents heard that, and they were like, oh, that kid must be good. Then they believed in me too. You see where I'm going with this? So now I believe in me, and I'm like, I got this reward and things, like, and I don't get rewards. There's nothing from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like, I was, like, I know this is not the case now, but then, like, you know, I didn't think very highly of myself. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of sad when I'm thinking back on that. Anyway, you know, so now you got this award. You're believing in yourself. You're loving football. You're doing good. You know, you're still an honorary kid. I've always been honorary, but you know, I'm doing good. And now the other parents, and then now they see me like, hey Brian, you know, good job, you know, at the games and stuff. And now, you know, they start to know you. They're believing in you, so they're like, you know, next game, we got them next game, right, Brian? And I'm like, yep, yeah, oh, hell yeah, you know. Whether or not I didn't know who the next team was or nothing, I was just like, yep, you know it. That's that mindset, okay? You gotta have that. Yeah, we're gonna kick their ass, bro. And you know, woo, team, you know what I'm saying? That feeling, you know what I mean? That's real, it's magic. It's magic happening all the time with us. We don't know it. So, go Brian, oh, next game we got this, you know? Totally, dude. Build your power, you know what I'm saying? Game day comes, you know what I mean? Everybody's pumped up and on that same level and on that same kind of frequency, if you will, about the game. Because you practiced. You know, all the kids should be in the same kind of like, we practice, you know, we know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, confidence, we got that. We believe in ourselves, you know what I mean? This is how football players do this. They pump each other up, believe in themselves, like, envision themselves they're going to win that fucking whatever it is. Trophies, you know, awarded. I didn't know I could get awarded, but once I did, it made me do harder, you know, it made me do bit. That's how people started to recognize me and shit. It was like, yo, there's center, that's our kid, you know what I mean? He fucking, you know, he can make a path for you or whatever. Just follow him. And it was cool, man. And like, I wasn't a special kid, but it made me feel special. So I stuck with it, you know what I mean? I kept playing football. And like I said, I didn't know it at the time, like what was going on, you know? So, I know this is getting a long story and I'm sorry, but it's important. So, I played football, you know, and then I kind of got older and I just wasn't into it anymore and stuff. And I tried wrestling and that kind of threw me off a little bit, like with balls in your face and like the whole thing, everything, and the workout there too it was a lot. And I was just more probably into like skateboarding and riding bikes and smoking dope. You know, to be honest, like we were smoking pot shit and, you know, sports kind of just went out the window. You know what I mean? It's another thing. Anyway, my point is though, is like, so when you go to the game and then say you make it to the championships and whatever, then you got like a stadium of people or a whole school of people that are cheering you on and that believe in you, build your power. So when the quarterback's going in the game, yeah, he's nervous and shit, but they got that mindset of, yeah, let's do this, you know, let's go. Any sport, whatever it is, let's do it. They got the mindset. It's important, you know what I mean? The mindset, no matter what it is, just get that mindset. Yeah, you know, whatever it is. Like, say they want you to throw darts and you know, like, I never threw no dart. The mindset. Go into that mindset, man, of like, give me that fucking dart. I'll show you how to do a bullseye. With ease. You know what I mean? Like, even though you might know it's not so, it's not going to be that way, it's not the point. You know what I mean? It's not the point. The point is yeah, the mindset of, yeah. So, eventually in life, you know, when you have that mindset about everything, eventually in life, you're going to find that one thing or two things that's going to stick out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're paying attention now. You know, now you know what you're kind of looking for, you know. When shit speaks to you, or if you feel good, if it makes you feel good, you know, to an extent, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, feeling good is not against the law, and it's not a bad thing to feel good or be happy. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame. If you feel good, and if you like it, and it's like, you know, reasonable, I mean, like, you understand what I'm saying here, okay? Anyway, do it. You know what I mean? Your quality of life can go up. You know what I mean? And like what you allow and things like that is what you'll get. And I've learned this from experience, and I'm still trying to learn. If anybody out there can help me, got some information for me, feel free to reach out, man. I'd love to talk to anybody from around the world who knows about this stuff. So, I'm on a journey, and I'm sorry I'm rambling on so much. It's just, I gotta get it out, you know what I mean? I gotta share it. I mean, I don't know what else to do with all this stuff that's going on in my head. So, if you guys have any insight, any experiences, anything at all relevant to any of this stuff I'm saying, you want to help me or you want to support me or collaborate or anything, I'm open. Like, I'm open to a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm going to keep it professional and all that stuff. You know, this is me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm nervous about that, you know what I mean? But like, I'm harmless and, you know, it's just, it's my brain is programmed to think like, you know, you're different, I'm different, and I know I'm different, but it's like programmed to think like, people ain't gonna accept it or whatever. It's a shitty kind of feeling, you know what I mean? And when what I'm saying is like, when you're happy or if it makes you feel good, do it. Yeah, because like nobody wants to feel like this or heartbroken or depressed or any of that stuff. Life is good. Life is beautiful. We're amazing people. You know what I mean? Like, we are some kind of, you know, we're some kind of mobile, man, that is like some dope, smoking some dope. You know what I mean? Like some really far out shit. You know what I mean? For real. You know, I know it sounds funny and all, but I'm being serious. Like, you know, we are something. We're something else. Like, unbelievable. You know what I mean? We're not by random chance or, you know, it's not just by chance. Precision would be the key word there. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up because I feel like I've been talking for long and like, I don't want to like freak everybody out right off the gate, but like, believe in yourself, man. It's real. The magic is real. And when you feel it, call me. and let me know, because you're gonna be like, dude, it feels awesome. It changed you. I had this spiritual awakening, man. It changed me, man. It changed my way I was thinking. I wasn't even getting out of bed, dude. You know what I mean? Like, listen, it was like, I was getting scared. You know, to be honest, I was getting a little bit worried there, man, because something needed to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and I had this theory, man, about, you know, it's a far out theory. I'll tell you what it is. The Amish could possibly have their hand in helping hide an ancient giant king, like right here in Pennsylvania, like right under our feet, that like he's hibernating or alive or still controlling, you know, if you will. If anybody wants to talk about my theory, be awesome, man. You know, it's just going to open up doors, you know what I mean? Because this theory is logically pretty fucking dope, man, like for real.